Good morning, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a Detroit kind of beat for somebody like Tee Grizzley. Now I ain't talking about those one Detroit beats that be like I'm talking about the more emotional ones, the ones that have a story to it, like First Day Out by Tee Grizzley. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Go ahead and tickle that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that bell, follow me at Tia LaRon on Instagram, comment your favorite artists and all that good stuff, and yeah, let's get into it. Ooh, that's good. As I said before, we're going for a more emotional, story-driven kind of melody. So we're gonna have two parts to it, and almost every Detroit beat, usually from Tee Grizzley, usually has a piano in it. So we're gonna go with that for the first part of the melody. So we got this chord progression right here. I'm gonna play it for you, and then show you how to make something similar. So yeah, it's a pretty simple chord progression. So the thing about Tee Grizzley's kinds of melodies is that usually for the first part, it'll be like some chords, like some very simple chords that's playing under it, and then a pretty catchy top line melody. Like so in this one, right, we have the dun 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 dun. That's my kind of catchy tune right there. So to make something similar, right, we're just gonna make some simple triad chords. Let's say that we want to work in G minor, right? So let's start with a G minor chord. Now we're just gonna go down the chord scale. So let's go from G to an F major chord, then down to a D sharp major chord, and then down to a D. But we're gonna have a note that's not in the scale, and that's F sharp, just to add a little bit of tension to the melody. Let's hear how this sounds right now. So that's the foundation, right? So now we're gonna go ahead and add a top line melody, something that's pretty catchy, like I said. So okay, so now we got the top line. Now let's go ahead and go in the chords and then make some chops in it to give it some extra like low end bounce. Alright, now let's take this whole thing, do Alt R to randomize the velocities, and then bring it down some so that's not too hard hitting. And then let's bring it down to like E minor. Let's see how this sounds. So to reiterate, it's good to get a good basic chord progression going. So like you can have some triads or some sevens going. Then after that, you want to go ahead and add a top line melody, something that's catchy. It can add to the whole story feeling, because like I said, it's an emotional Detroit beat. And then just doing your own thing, add your own sauce to it, and yeah. Usually I use these effects. I have on an EQ to cut out some of the low boominess around 300. That's usually kind of where it resides at, and then boost some of the high end a little bit. Then some slight delay, just a little bit for some extra bounce. Then some slight reverb with some ROM. Now usually when it comes to making piano melodies, I love to add a little bit of a higher top line melody just to give it some extra sauce to it. So this is what I made. This one I played by ear, so yeah. So now we're gonna layer, and I want to layer with a Rhodes or electric piano, something to make it sound a little bit fuller and just give it some more emotional impact. So I got this chorus suitcase out of Expand. I'm not gonna lie, this is a very good preset to use for Rhodes. So here's what this one sound like. For that, just a magic switch, which I love to use choruses on all my Rhodes. Next, we're gonna layer again. This time I want to expand again, and I want to grab some choir just to have some slight vocals in the background. So I got this Octua. So for this one, I just kept the chorus and I deleted all of the top line melody. So here's what this one sounds like. Anytime you're going for a more emotional impact, having choir vocals is always gonna do it for you. Whether it's emotional or dark for real, I'm not gonna lie, having choir vocals, you can go any way with it. It just adds a whole different element to your beat. Next, I needed a counter melody. So I went to expand and grab the Oric Octabel preset and just let out this very simple melody right here. Like, so simple. For that, we have on a magic switch for some chorus. Got a pancake to make it go left and right. This one's a free pan and plug in too, it's fire. And this a ROM. Next, we go to arcade. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really hear a lot of guitars using Tee Grizzley's Detroit beats, but it did add some emotional impact to this melody, so that's why I kept it in here. So I went to arcade to the guitar, the chopped preset, and here's what I laid out. Just to EQ to make it sound more muffled, and there's some reverb. Next, we're gonna get a synth bass, which this is used pretty commonly in some of his beats in the intro. So we got this Reese bass right here. Notice how I add some more dramatic impact by having it go up and down, slide up, and all that good stuff. Then for some more movement, I added on this perk loop right here. Pretty sure this is free too. It came out of this Producer Grind perk loop kit. Then we get a little transition that I love to use in my beats and my melodies. Sounds like this. So the first part sounds like this. Now let's get into the second part. Literally all that I did was that I added two different things to it to make it sound different. So we got the same piano out of the Maverick out of Kontakt, and I just laid out this very repetitive pattern. That's pretty important too, is making sure that it sounds repetitive and catchy. So we got this pattern right here. All that I did was that I took the bass notes out of the chorus from the original melody, so A, G, F, and E, and I just chopped the top note in the chorus so it can have a little bit of a bounce to it like this. And then after that, I came up with a pretty repetitive pattern right here. I love to use notes that's close to each other like E and F, and also B and C, because they're in the scale of A minor. It just adds some more tension to it. And then having this little thing right here just gives it a little bit of a break. Then I went to arcade and grabbed some vocals. I kind of got this inspiration from this song called Miss Evans 2 from Tee Grizzley. So here's what this one sound like. Now you can't have a Detroit beat without the wow 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 wow. So here's what I laid out. It's pretty simple making these. You just take the bass note and just chop it up into, you know, however you want to make the bounce. So that part sounds like this. Now let's get into the drums. So for the drums, I think that it's important to give the drums a little bit of time before it comes in. So leave about like 16 to like 32 bars or even longer, and then you can get into it. This just gives them more time to help build out the story. So here's how the drums come in. So first we start off with a regular snap. Add some reverb to that. Then we got some perks to give it some extra bounce. These right here. And then for the measure before the drums actually drop, I think that's good to have something to let you know that's about to come. So that's why I love to use this right here. It's a pretty good downfall sound effect. And then we got some of these sounds right here. So when the drums come in, I'm just pretty much adding stuff to it. So I kept the snap and the perks in there. This time I added in an open hat. That's gonna layer with the kick. And then we get the kick right here too. So it comes in like this. We get the bass, very simple spins 808. Now, if you listen to Tee Grizzley and a lot of his songs, he'll go from using a snap to using a snare or a clap with a hi-hat pattern to get it going. So that's how we go from this to this. Then sometimes too, it'll go from a more like intense kind of feeling back to the storytelling kind of sound. So it'll sound like this. Then the drums come out. So that's the beat right there. So now I'm gonna show you what the beat sounds like with some vocals on top of it. But before that, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Follow my socials at TLaRon. If you want to collab, hit me up too. You know, I'm down for whatever. If you need any help, ask me. You know, I love to help you out. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. It's gonna be a fun time, like always. Let's get it. Peace.
If I came home, Brody went right back. Shit made me sad. I just wanted bro to get the bag. Stay drop the case. That mean we gotta fight the feds. Even if we down, we gon' make sure we hold up our heads. 70% of my niggas gotta sleep on mats. We can't talk for more than 15 minutes unless they call me back. Gotta use their clothes as a pillow. What you know about that? Cold bitch, I only hit her once, but she came back to back. Street took my pops, police gave me back my mama. Today I see a little piece, it used to be just drama. My niggas went from getting suspended to getting indicted, cause they ended up shooting, but we started off just fighting. I've been through them prisons, nigga, I've been in them counties. I just did a feature, nigga, pro to 100,000. They gon' speak about these niggas, they some hoes like they mamas. Bitches used to ignore me, now they like, why we need a condom? Hey, pull up to the store, I got a four, go get a pop. With my day one nigga in the plug, told him send a box. I know he gon' tell me chill, all these facts gon' get us hot. You see all this jewelry, boy, what you better see at this Glock. Bitch, yeah, this a Louis jogging suit, fuck is you talking to? Fuck out the way.